of all the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. Hello, beautiful people. David here with some more Doki Doki Literature Club. This is the Trust side story, part 2. I'm really into these side stories. Now we got, like, the origins of how Monika started the club with Sayori, and it looks like, I'm guessing understanding is going to be Sayori recruiting Yuri. So let's just go into Trust 2 and begin this side story, because I love learning about Monika. It's so cool. You see a different side of her than during the main game, as you would expect. I do know how the main game goes. I don't have a playthrough it on YouTube because I've learned about it before I, would have played it on YouTube, but I digress. I know everything that happens, so spoilers, but another day passes in a flash. It's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monika should have come up with a plan for today's tasks, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. Yeah, Sayori ran off and left a folder, leaving a pretty dark poem about picking dandelions, but she specifically says, like, okay, you die, and you die, and you die. Become the flower. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori is going through these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. Oh, that's so cool! Monika is actually already knows what's up. Like, she can see the depression, she can see the feelings. Yeah. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't even think to ask her about her feelings. So much for the stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile. But upon seeing the downcast Monika, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monika? Is everything okay? Yeah, she should be asking you that, darling. I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monika shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monika stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Oh, heavy. Now you're worrying about me. I don't want that. No, right. The thing that's really unfortunate with Sayori is that she carries a lot of depression. And the thing is, she's really cheerful all the time because she doesn't want her friends to be depressed. Or she wants to make her friends happy. But at the same time, she feels super guilty when her friends find out that she's not happy. And then she's like, oh, but now you're not happy. There's like this crazy cycle. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. Yeah, I feel it. The music's great, too. This is different. It's not just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. Yeah, this is hard for Sayori. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Ooh. Don't be concerned about me. You're just being selfish if you're being concerned about me. Sayori, you're so fascinating. Her character is so fascinating. Monika massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Like, I'm thankful that I've never had to go through what it's like to have a friend like this, because it is I can only imagine, it's such a crazy, helpless feeling, you know? Someone who you can tell is miserable and wants to make everything happy, but the second you try to make things a little more serious and address them at a deeper level, like, they just shut up immediately, and it makes them even sadder. It's understandable Sayori isn't ready to share certain things, but as unfair it is for Monika to pry, it's also painful for Monika to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monika takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand that you don't want me to worry, and I think I'll be able to put this aside, so we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? She pauses to collect her thoughts. Oh, these pauses are so interesting. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. It's like, it's not even a ... It's like literally just empty space. I love it. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart, or whatever. So I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you for when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Oh, man. Unable to help it, Monika returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine, we have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I'm so glad they had this conversation behind closed doors, like with nobody else in the room. It's such an interesting dynamic. So Sayori knows that Monika knows about her feelings. Dark feelings. And so far, nobody else does, so... Oh, man. I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know? Heh, there's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I just think I need, like, some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard, you just kinda need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can start by writing your feelings and see what kind of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. Yeah, Sayori's bottle poem is like the best one, I think, in the entire thing. Although all of Monika's poems are like really fun, just for reasons. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's like not building a railroad, where you go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage, where you find all the things you want to put in, then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way to not get stuck at the beginning. I understand. Yeah, I always get so caught up in how it sounds, that I forget what's actually important. Monika pulls out a pen and paper to start writing. Stop being a perfectionist. You idiot. I'm just kidding. Monika scribbles out, you idiot, after she writes it down. She's cute! Oh my god, Monika, when you're not a psychopath, you're awesome. No, keep it! Oh, cool. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. But I was just... Well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monika rewrites, you idiot. She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for, and then I did the exact thing anyway. This is really going to take some getting used to. That's actually really, really cool. I actually really like that Sayori made her write that. Because it's basically, like, Monika writing is already doing the first step. She's writing, like, her thoughts. Like, even humor is often used as a mechanism, you know? Because she was like, right, stop being a perfectionist. You idiot. Haha, lol JK. But the fact that that was a joke, she actually does think she's an, like, she doesn't think she's an idiot, but, like, she does beat herself up for that. I believe in you. Thanks, I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course. Monika continues the exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it. Yeah, and it's like, those little things like are gold when you can find that like negative self-talk or something like that. Like, you know, that's how you get... this is a good psychological experiment. I actually like this a lot. Or exercise. But after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monika's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Monika looks up and down at her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it, but it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying, so it makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I'll have to try really, really hard at it. If I recall correctly, her first poem in the game, Monika's, is actually like really good. And it's like, is that the one where it's like, I was looking in, they were looking back? Because that one was really good. But I think it's something I'll enjoy doing. With you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's try to work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Hey, let's do it! Monika and Sayori proceed with their work. You're really getting the sense that they're like... Oh, well, we're not seeing exactly that they're good for each other. However, you are seeing that Sayori is really good for Monika right now. The problem is Sayori doesn't let anyone be good for her, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they began to truly feel like it's only a matter of time before they find more members. I like it. This club has been meaning something to people before, like, it even, like, got to the size that it was by the time you join. Another day passes. As usual, Monika's the first to the club room. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with the new ideas that Monika and Sayori came up with. If only this was the flyer that we gave to that one reading girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the old one. But a new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. It's growing on me. I still love write your heart out. Surely common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monika and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from the students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monika thinks back to the previous meeting where she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be president if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? Oh, the doubt! The literature club is truly beginning to take form, yeah. But with that, the weight on Monika's shoulders only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating all airtight points and counterpoints, and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monika was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself. For real. Monika pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. That was really cool. Mainly because it's something that I can kind of empathize with a little bit. Fencing, the way I was training in it, and ballet is all about very rigid structure and stuff like that. And one of the girls convinced me to take the jazz class, start taking jazz classes, which I've been. And jazz is so outside my comfort zone. This is going to be lost on anyone that doesn't dance, but it's just jazz is so much about expression. And even last night, we had this one where you're supposed to like be really like come up with your own thing, and it's just like, I'm like, no, like choreograph me. I want you to tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Like, I can't like bring it out of myself. So it's very interesting how I'm feeling as like a sense of empathy with recently, with like this kind of thing that it seems Monika's going through. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. Monika lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels less compelled to run her finger across it. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monika's canvas. Out of spite for herself, Monika presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monika. Just move your hand. Monika writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Isn't that an art exercise that some people do? I heard someone talk to me. Oh, I think it was Drawfee. I think Julia mentioned that her art teacher once came up to her and she's like, "Why haven't you drawn anything yet?" And I think it was like something about being perfectionist or whatever. And so what they did was they just like ruined the paper with like an ink, like with like a paint stroke or something. And they were like, "Great, no matter what you do, it won't be perfect. There you go." So it can kind of be liberating to ruin the canvas. Huh. Monika slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. Dude, this is so cool. It's like just watching the struggle of someone learning to be creative. It's really cool. The air conditioner seems louder today. No one is going to watch this. I can tell no one is going to enjoy this mini playthrough, but I'm really liking it. I hope you are too, whoever you are. Loud air conditioner. I'm here. Hi. Monika hears Sayori approach her desk, then stop for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. Then she sits in the adjacent desk. Bad day? Mm-hmm. Me too. Oh. You too? I love these pauses. The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to be vulnerable. Sayori takes the sheet of paper from Monika's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monika with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monika takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Sometimes I want to die. Wow, that actually hit. That really hit. Sayori, this is really, really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So if I can do it, then you can too. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting to be hitting the feels so hard today. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Because you're like a million times better than me. Stop, Sayori. That's completely not true. Sayori takes a deep breath and is trying to steady herself. Man. That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday. I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. This is a literature club. I trust you. More than I'm scared. At those words, Monika stands up. Man, it's just so rough to read because at the same time you just like want to scream at Monika to be like, get her help, but you also don't want to break that trust. Ah, god damn it. Alright. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monika's own futile, but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monika waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? Yeah, this is what I explained, I think, in the last one. Or did I explain it earlier in this one? I don't even remember. I recorded these back to back. So I never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts that I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. But that's terrible. Who said that? That's what Monika wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. Yeah, you don't want to come across too judgy, especially when they just open their heart to you like that. It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask what's wrong. I know that because it used to be like that. She trained herself to be cheerful because she wanted everyone else to be happy. Wow. Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like a completely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? Yeah. It's such a huge thing whenever Sayori does open up like this. You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. For another part of me, I just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I keep feeling like it was the right thing for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself, too. Just made me feel like I could say it in confidence and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club is only 2 people, but already it means this much to me. Monika feels a tightening sensation in her heart. A feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them. It's so hard to help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And feels worse when people try to help them, you know? And she even says it. She has a problem, like it's almost a condition, where she's like involuntarily feels this way. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monika steps forward. But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy, if you'd like. Oh. Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monika's shoulder. Through their contact, Monika can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head. In this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monika realizes that all of the days have passed. Of all the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You could say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless, and everyone would be better off without me. Okay, of course I feel bad for Sayori, but man, I also feel bad for Monika, because as someone who's been, like, I guess I've been in this role before in friend groups, especially in college, and it's a lot to carry people's emotions in confidence and keep their secrets. I'm really good at it. I'm a closed book. Like, I will never tell people secrets and stuff. But man, like, at a certain point, like, it weighs on you, you know? She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it just feels like everyone has to put up with me, and I hate it. I hate it. It is, like, so hard to help a person in this situation. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away, and now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die, yeah. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monika becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now. She won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. It's just being your friend. Monika offers a few words of comfort, but she knows. Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong. and Monika can't magically make them go away. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value. To me, and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. It's true. It's 100% true. You coming here was the best thing that could have happened. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what you brought here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monika feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. To share their embrace for a while longer, Monika letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are. If that's what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. Oh my god! I love this. It's so fucking cute. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Oh my god, Monika! Monika, you are... If I didn't already love her... That... I know she's saying it kind of casually, but I just think the way she's saying it right now could not be, like, more perfect. Like, it's so hard to, like, make someone else be on the defensive. I think she picked a good time to bring this up. Sayori nods. It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah. Well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. She did mention it! Oh my god. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired and hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. Yeah, ooh, that's tough. Because then you know how she would feel if she was given a vacation because of this. Yeah. I mean, I could say it's definitely one thing that will make me happy. Monika smiles. But I want to get a snack first. I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two to turn their heads. The door opens halfway and then stops. A face speaks inside. A face that seems familiar. I'm guessing it's Yuri. Alright. Well, it could be Natsuki or Yuri. Judging by the fact that I have understanding part 1 and 2 here ready for me, I think this is going to be about Sayori's relationship with Yuri. But man, Monika and Sayori, though. God, okay. I don't know if I'm going to do understanding right away or if I'm going to play more and try to unlock and see if things are in another sequence, but I'm probably just going to play the main game a little bit more on my own time and unlock all the stuff that I already know is coming my way. But man, this was so good. I loved that. I don't even have words, like, for a lot of that. Like, so much of that was perfect. The fact that Monika wasn't afraid to mention talking to a professional to Sayori. I wish Sayori did talk to a professional, but... Oh, man, this is handling heavy things very delicately, which I really like. And I would so watch this. Anime companies, I'll give Dan Salvato a contract because I would love to watch this in, you know, I was feeling this just with images. Oh man, when Sayori writing on Monika's paper just pops up though, that was heavy. Ah, man. But yeah, I don't know if anyone needs to hear this right now, but you're not alone, whoever you are. I hope, no matter what kind of craziness you're feeling, that you can understand that there are always people out there who love and care about you, and so I wish nothing more than happiness for everyone watching this, especially to the end. And thank you so much for watching this. Make sure, of course, to like this video if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't, smack the bell so that you never miss a thing. A Patron, yeah, I have that. Thank you, Bladed Cross, for supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you all in the next one. That's just the first one, and it's got me in the feels. The other ones are gonna hit me twice as hard, I know. Oh my god. Alright. For now, this is Dave out, peace out.